Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode with Iron Infidel. I'm Matt Petch, the operational athlete, and this is the second video after looking at Alex's Jeep. We're going to be talking about my car. So as you can see, my car is pretty basic. I got 2 kids, a dog. I try to keep it so when you look from the outside, you don't see much. I work in law enforcement in my local community, so people know me, people know my truck. I don't want to give my truck the ability to be a target for people to steal things from me, stuff like that, that could be of value or could cause harm to people. So I'll just start in the front. Very basic, like I said, but one of the most important things to me is safety and knowing, I guess, what's around me at all times. I keep a medical kit in the back, but like I talked about in Alex's video, is I like to keep a tourniquet close because I've seen situations where people are in car accidents and their legs get pinned, arm gets pinned, something like that. So I think keeping a tourniquet nearby is super important. So I keep a ratchet style tourniquet right here, ready to go. Opened, not in the case, nothing like that, ready to go at a moment's notice. And that's pretty much it. I plan to put a safe here eventually so I can keep my gun in here, stuff like that. There's a lot I plan to do, which I'll explain throughout the way. But that's pretty much all I have up front is just that. I do keep a knife here for utility reasons. I'm usually carrying my handgun, so I carry my handgun. This is just a knife and tool I keep here for utility, for a last second weapon if need be. But for the most part, I wear my gun when I'm in the truck. I wear it at my 3, 4 o'clock. And if a threat is coming or I see somebody walking towards my truck, usually my seatbelt comes off. That's just my practice. It's how I've always done it. So that's how I carry it. Going to the back here, as you can see, like I said, it's very basic. Usually there's 2 car seats in here because my hand, I don't want to take them in and out right now. But usually I can't lift these seats up. But I want to be able to show you what's in the middle and stuff like that. So things that are important to me, I keep on the outside because like I said, there's car seats. I can't lift up the chair. So things on the outside, as you can see here, I have a Pelican style box from Apache. In this box, I keep my active shooter kit. And this is something I take back and forth from the truck at all times. So in my active shooter kit, I keep extra magazines, and then I keep a Glock insertable PCC. And the great part about this is that it's not a rifle. Alex, you want to give me a hand here?
Oh, sure.
Sorry. So just press the button here. It's not a rifle, but with my Glock 19, which is already inserted, which I put in prior to the video, my Glock 19, this turns into a shoulder-mounted PCC, a carbine, that is accessible. I could throw additional magazines in here, 30 rounders, whatever it be, 20 rounders. That's an extra magazine compared to the end. In addition to the second magazine I have, it also has a light on it, so we're in a low light situation. And it has a red dot optic, which is awesome because that gives me a little bit more accuracy than the iron sights I normally carry with me on my concealed carry. So this is something I keep for active shooter situations. I keep it in here, it's locked, it's secured, and I put it back and forth when I'm in my vehicle, when I'm going home, stuff like that. It's not something I keep in my car at all times because you never know if like a theft can happen. But the good thing about it is I don't keep a gun in it at all times. So if it does get stolen, it's really just a piece of plastic. So it's not a firearm, it's something people can't use to harm others. So that's why I like this accessory rather than keeping a gun in my car at all times. Kind of like Alex, I keep a plate carrier. So I keep a plate carrier with additional magazines. Here I have 3 30-round magazines.
You got Glock mags in there? What do you got here?
Yeah, these are Glock mags. Yeah, 30-round Glock magazines that I can throw into my PCC there. Or if need be, I can just throw them into my normal Glock 19.
Yeah.
Just a little extra firepower. If there's multiple gunmen, something like that, it's just a little better to have more than less, you know? That's cool. So that's how I look at it. So,
yeah, and I like that you're, realistically, if you're engaging an active killer, you're going to be doing it with a handgun, for the most part. Unless by some miracle, you're at your car, you have a rifle in there, you're able to grab it and then go. That's unlikely, so keeping pistol mags on there, primarily, I think that's a better option.
Vehicle entry kit. So this is just a couple tools that come with many, but this is a vehicle entry kit if you know what it is. This is a car wedge, and this is to get into the window once the car is wedged to unlock a vehicle. So could be for having to save a child, if there's a child locked in the car, if we don't break the glass, a dog locked in the car, or whatever it is. Maybe I need to take a vehicle from somebody or get something out of a car or whatever, help someone on the side of the road. I like keeping this in there. It's a multifunctional tool. Most importantly, I always think of the child in the car situation on a hot day.
Yeah, exactly. That way you're not busting glass in the child's face.
Yeah, exactly. So it's another option to that. You know, obviously if child's passed out, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get in there as fast as possible. But if they're coherent, then maybe I can do this and avoid, you know, nowadays you never know, someone might sue you or something. So yeah, this is a good tool to have. I always keep a cold weather jacket in the car just in case. You never know, or just that good to have. You know, in case you're on a date, you know, got an extra jacket for the ladies.
I was gonna make a joke there, but I'll hold out.
That's chem lights. This is 2 of many that I keep in here at all times. Like you said, for signaling, whatever it could be. I can send you, if you're in the car with me, to go to the top of a mountain and signal people, something like that.
Yeah.
Generally, I'm not in the mountains. Like I said, I'm in the city, but it's a good signaling device if need be, or something to put on the road, kind of like the flares,
Yeah.
which I will get eventually once I get the camper shell here. Get the flares in there. Fix it flat. I've always kept this in my car ever since I was a kid, ever since my grandfather told me to. So this is something I like to keep in there, you know, just in case I get a flat tire and I need to fix it quick, whether I'm in a rush somewhere. I can use this, patch it, get it pumped up, rather than having to change it out and all that.
It just gets you where you need to go in an emergency.
Exactly. And then I can deal with the situation later.
Yeah.
So I've always kept this in the car. Let's see what else. Just a utility light. Good thing about this one is it's probably going to work here, but magnet. So like under my hood, I can use this to look under my hood at night. Different settings. It's got a magnet on it, which is pretty awesome, which I really like. It's in my car. There we go. None of this is metal.
That's what I'm really lacking in my car. I need more flashlights in there.
Yeah.
I have some in the get home bag, but I need more.
Yeah, and I forgot to show the one. I keep one right next to me in the driver's seat, just in case I need it while driving.
Yeah.
Right there where my knife was, I keep one. But this is a utility flashlight that I could use to check if my truck breaks down, something underneath the vehicle, whatever it is. I can go hands-free, like I said, with the magnet here. So you can get these at like Harbor Freight for $7. If you've ever been to Harbor Freight and looked at what they have for flashlights and stuff for your vehicle, it's great, and it's very low price. So that's where I got this. And then let me walk you around to the other side. Like I said, eventually, yeah, you've got the logo here. Eventually, I'm going to put a camper shell on here, and there's going to be a lot more involved in this vehicle to help me with whatever you know, I run, you know, training for veterans. So I do a lot of training, gym equipment, stuff like that, and then also the shooting aspect of what I do. You know, having lock boxes and stuff like that. So once I get the camper shell, you know, we'll do a part 2, and I can show you exactly how I set this vehicle up to my liking. So I think this is probably the most important side for me. I keep a flag in here at all times because you never know when you're going to need a flag. Sure, patriotism just flat out the window. I also keep a trauma kit. So this is a fully functional trauma kit. As you can see, it's very large. And the reason I keep this is for major vehicle accidents, fires, active shooter situations, whatever it is, some sort of mass casualty situation where I can help. So whenever I'm driving around as a first responder, I'm always looking at these accidents, like somebody hurt, somebody on the ground, whatever I can do, I'm going to do. So a lot of this I have in here is for breathing and hemorrhage control. And as we know, that can save somebody's life. Like absolutely. Yeah. You can bleed out 30 seconds to 3 minutes, you know, and if you're not breathing, obviously that's secondary. So I have this
whole video in and of itself right there.
Yeah, and I'll pop it on the trunk and I'll show you what I have in here. The last thing I have over here is just a fire extinguisher. Eventually this will be mounted in the back because it's more safe to have them mounted, but for now I just keep it right here where the kids can't really mess with it because they're facing the opposite direction. But same thing for my truck, for someone else's, if someone's in a fire, at least this will do something to help them. And that's kind of like the main purpose behind my truck. But let me show you what's in this bag here. So on the outside, just quick access tourniquet, scissors. This is a device for cutting clothing right here. As you can see, the clever cutter. So cutting up the jeans to check for bleeding, whatever it is. Obviously a pair of gloves on the outside real quick. Also on the outside here, larger bandages. So keeping these emergency bandages, these trauma wound dressings. These are big for, you know, head wounds, stomach wounds, stuff like that. So I keep 2 of these in here on the outside just because they're larger. Needle D, that's going to be a different situation. Obviously something for airway. And the best part is you open it up and you have a whole bunch of fun stuff that you can use to help people. Bottom line, you know, more gloves for additional people helping you. And let me see here. More things for airway. And then up here is a lot of HemCon. So I have your combat gauze, your HemCon pads here. I got occlusive bandages behind that for your chest seals, stuff like that. Up here, obviously, I got to have my general bandages because I have 2 kids and I'm also very accident prone, as you can see. So I have my general bandages there. And then just more bleeding control. So obviously in a crazy situation, I hope I never have to use all of this, but at least I have it in case, you know. Israelis and additional
Jaws.
more combat gauze for shootings for wounds that are in, you know, your hips and your, you know, your armpit cavity, stuff like that. So it's just great stuff to have.
I think my favorite part about this, and I'm gonna test it right now. I have no idea if it's actually like this, but tearaways.
Yep.
So you can take what you need out, depending on what your situation is. If you want, you're not carrying that whole thing.
Absolutely. I can grab this and hand it to you and say, hey, patch that guy over there. He needs this, or this guy needs these.
Especially in a mass casualty situation where
Yeah.
you know you got multiple people down, different locations. You got a lot of people helping. That's cool.
Yeah. So this is something I've always had in my car, besides a baby bag recently, and yeah. So that's pretty much it for my truck.
I mean, you can see there's 2 different kind of lifestyles here. I've got a Jeep Wrangler that I do a lot of camping with, and a lot of it's set up to sustain me if I break down in the desert. I've got water and a bunch of different kind of more of that survival prepper style. Yours is more, you live in the city. You know, yours is more city response to any type of critical incident, any type of medical emergency. So we kind of geared each other's vehicles based on our lifestyle, but it's all kind of around the same premise of preparedness as well as being just a daily driver.
Yeah, and I think some of the most important stuff to realize when it comes to your vehicle is just understanding how your vehicle works, understanding if your vehicle breaks down, what it could be, you know, understanding how to check your fuses, check your batteries, check your tire pressure, check your oil. Keeping the maintenance on a vehicle is super important, because if this thing doesn't run, then what's the purpose? You just have a big piece of metal here with a bunch of stuff in it that you can't carry. And then secondly, you know, always being prepared at home as well, you know, like having your go bags, stuff like that. If you can't fit it all in your car, make sure that you have it somewhere where you can get to it if need be.
Exactly, and especially like something like this. You don't have a top, you know, obviously you're in phase 1 of building up a truck, right? You're gonna put a camper shell on there and a top over this, but you can't store everything in this vehicle that you want. But if you do have to take off from your house, let's say we live in a high fire area, having those bags ready to throw into this is kind of your phase 2, I guess you would say bug out vehicle, if you want to say it, use those terms, throw it in the back and you're able to take off. Yep. So having that stuff stored at home is equally as important.
Yeah, absolutely. And then again, situational awareness, you know, knowing what you're going into, if there is riots going on, avoiding those areas, things like that. But you know, just like we said earlier in your video is, you know, you never know. So you got to be prepared for whatever situation you're faced with.
Yep. Awesome. Well, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. We covered my vehicle last week, so if you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. Matt, thank you for showing us through your vehicle. I know this is kind of, you're in the beginning stages. I love the wrap. This wrap is awesome. You're in the beginning stages of building it out, but it's coming along, and I do want to do an updated video once you actually finish it, because it sounds like you have some pretty good plans.
Oh yeah.
Guys, thank you for tuning in as always. I really do appreciate it. Visit our website if you like our t-shirts, and don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Matt, you got any parting shots?
No, that's it.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one.